The highlight of the day is the news on gradual removal of existing tariffs on mutual China's and US imports. The news encouraged traders who want to find out the reasons behind the White House's softer stance on Beijing. Meanwhile, the Chinese yuan firmed below 7 against the US dollar. The greenback is making efforts to extend strength against a basket of major currencies. The softer anti-China protectionist rhetoric could mean that Donald Trump is keen to reduce the defeat risks in the forthcoming presidential election. However, the US leader is vulnerable to most opponents, so he is facing an impeachment inquiry. Democrats accuse the president of abusing his power by involving the Ukrainian leader into the US election campaign. Public hearings on Donald Trump's impeachment is due to start next week. Market participants cheer the obvious progress in the US-China trade talks. Beijing seems to have insisted on its conditions. Originally, China's key requirement was a removal of all tariffs which were imposed on most Chinese imports. The parties are still discussing when and where the first phase agreement will be settled. This event is likely to take place in the state of Iowa. The Chinese yuan broke below 7 against the US dollar, ready to extend a rally for 8 days. The currency of emerging markets are benefiting from trade hopes. However, the news could have priced in full so that an advance of these currencies could bump into resistance soon. In October, the US dollar traded mostly in the red amid fears that the trade dispute with China could slow down US GDP growth and assure the Federal Reserve to cut rates. At present, the environment is changing. The recent string of fundamental data proved health of the US economy, arousing optimism among dollar bulls. Today, data on jobless claims confirmed good intentions and conditions in the US labor market. First-time unemployment claims fell more than expected last week. In the New York trade, the US dollar index climbed close to the level of 98. Oddly enough, the Canadian dollar is immune to the bounce of oil prices. The loonie traders are still discouraged. The US dollar versus the Canadian dollar pair settled up at 1.3176, having hit the key resistance at 1.32 earlier. A further trajectory will depend on macroeconomic data. On Friday, Canada is going to report on its employment for October. That's all for today. Thank you for watching and see you back tomorrow.